Hey everyone, good afternoon. I wanted to do a quick recording of the key information from the syllabus I wanted to share with you rather than uh, having you spend time listening to me during class. Um, I guess I'll just dive right in. Uh, so as you know, this is Advanced Perspectives on School Mathematics, the second in a two-part sequence. We're going to continue digging in pretty deeply to some of the mathematics that you will be teaching in the future years with sort of an attempt to extend it further than what is being necessarily taught in high school, so you have this broader understanding, deeper understanding, and sort of see where some of the mathematical ideas are heading after you're introducing them. Um, I will try to highlight, I think I might have said this, sorry. I'll try to highlight some of the key things in this syllabus and um, then encourage you to read it afterwards. As you know, my name is Brian Lawler. I will be happy to make a appointment with you at any time. We can either talk via phone, via video conference, or I'm even willing to meet in person. We will meet Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3:30 to 4:45, and as you know, for now, at least for the next month, I intend for these to all be synchronous online meetings. Um, in We'll watch how safety precautions are proceeding and just make decisions as the semester unfolds. So, if possible, and if it's everybody's interest, we will try to return to face-to-face on-campus meetings. Um, if you have any questions after watching this video about the syllabus, please email me. I'd rather answer those via email, or even we can set an appointment if anything needs to be clarified rather than asking in class. Every day when class ends, I definitely will also sort of stay after in the Zoom meeting, so that's also another good time to ask. But regarding email, please do not email me within D2L. The email system just doesn't work for me, is the short answer. Sometimes I will email to you through D2L, but that's really meant to be a one-way push. Don't respond or don't write to me in D2L. Write to me, please, via regular Kennesaw email. This is my email address, or some of you know it's blawler4@kennesaw.edu. This is just an alias that gets there. I maybe just as a reminder, send all of your email to any Kennesaw business through your Kennesaw email account, and that is primarily to ensure that your privacy is protected. That's why we ask you to do that. Sometimes you're sending your KSU ID number or other very private information. So when it's within the KSU email system, it goes through secure servers that make sure nobody has access. So we have 2 required texts for the class. Please purchase both immediately. If you haven't ordered them already, get on Amazon right now and buy them. This first one is the mathematical text that we will rely on for most of the class, 2/3 of the class, but I recognize we'll only use a portion of the text, but it's the best match. We will also be reading this text alongside as just adding some perspective. I will require you to purchase a whiteboard. In my experience teaching last spring and over the summer, trying to learn best ways to share and do mathematics together, there really was no alternative other than handwriting and showing at the camera. So get whiteboards and markers. The 2 I suggest here are just about the right size. They come with a few colors, and I think they're $15 or less. Please, please, please get yourself that whiteboard also ASAP. And as a heads up, expect that you'll be using Desmos, a spreadsheet, and these last 2 are 2 whiteboards options that we might use for other things, or maybe lightly math, but other big topics. So that's just a heads up. If you're not familiar with any of those, you might go get them. I will strongly recommend, but not require, a graphing calculator. I say that because anything I would ask you to do on the graphing calculator, you will be able to also do via Desmos or other things. I hope you are already NCTM student members. I'm going to be skimming through some items on the syllabus. Those are the items that are common to all your syllabi, or should be common to all your syllabi. Some are for your education course syllabi, some are all syllabi across the campus, And I'm skimming them not to say they're less important, but to say you might have read this already in other syllabi, or outside this video, please pause to read that. This is a description of the course from the university catalog, directly what it says there. I will talk a little bit more about the course content shortly, but for now, please, this course rationale and course goals are what your math education faculty here at Kennesaw, you've had several of us, have sat down and identified as, here's what we really, really want to get out of this class. So please pay attention to the rationale and goals. Especially these goals. I'm going to quickly run through a couple of them. We're going to look at extraneous roots, trig topics in the unit circle, trigonometric functions, trig identities. There's a bunch of stuff there. We're going to look at parametric and polar equations, and we're going to look at complex numbers. We'll also dig in a little bit further on functions, thinking about functions, but you did a lot of work on functions in 3495. Some of you have had me before. We will emphasize instructional practices akin to those recommended by the Freudenthal Institute on curriculum, methods called guided reinvention. Okay, that's sort of a quick overview of content. Maybe a real short version. I think I'll say a little bit more tomorrow, or I'm recording this Monday, but tomorrow when we have class, classes will have some start, either a check-in or maybe a quick review or some questions from homework. But for the last hour or so, the main thing will be to get into a problem and do some individual, pair, or small group exploration, then come together as a whole class, share some ideas, discussions, maybe back and forth a little bit between work and discussion. And then I will try to wrap up with some summary of what we learned and naming some key ideas of each day. In essence, the last 5 to 10 minutes of class will be the lecture portion of our class. This is the framework I'm going to use for homework or assignments. I think I might make some adjustments, especially to quizzes and homework, but this gives us a framework to work. So you can see these percentages along each. That gives you a sense of the weight that each contribute to your grade. I will assign homework daily, and then about roughly every 2 weeks, but only a total of 10 times, I will collect a small number of the homework prompts. I'll ask you to submit just pieces of homework you've done as a way for me to gauge where you are. I'll be asking for the problems I really want you to be good at. Because homework is actually meant to be figuring things out and part of your learning, I recognize that also homework is not necessarily going to always be like correct, done, perfect, and all that. So the way I grade it will be more focused on the work you put in and the completeness of your efforts, as opposed to maybe it being correct or so on. So that being said, this homework grade should focus much more on the work you're putting into making sense and figuring things out, more so than being entirely perfect or correct. But that puts some onus on you in the sense of as you're doing homework and coming back to class and learning, if something's not clear or you're not understanding well, you have to get with classmates, you have to go to the tutoring center, you have to check with Dr. Lawler and set a meeting to follow up, because a lot of this work, this is the work you have to put in, I guess. I will drop the 2 lowest homework grades also to reflect that homework is a place where you're learning a lot. I'll ask you to write 2 papers, I think. They will both be short, maybe roughly 1 page, maybe a little bit, maybe as much as 2. And I think 1 paper will be collaboratively written with a pair, with a partner. I'll just leave it at that. I plan for 4 quizzes throughout the semester, sort of as a check-in point for a test for yourself. Am I understanding the things I'm supposed to be understanding? We'll have a midterm and a final exam, and at the end of the semester, I'll also ask you to show me what you learned in a non-traditional format, a non-test, where you get to say, here, for each of the key mathematics topics, here's what I understand. Here, this work shows I understand that well, and it also show off the quality of your work. Because class will be that mixture of lecture, individual small group problem solving, and whole group discussion, it's crucial that you're there every time. That's where you're really making sense of and digging into the mathematics. So during classes, I expect you to participate, take and maintain notes, and ask questions about what you do not understand. And because of those expectations, again, I expect you to be attending class always. If you miss 4 class meetings, I will reduce your letter grade by 1. So if you've earned an A in the class, but you've missed 4 classes, I will drop the grade 1. If you miss 8 classes, I'll drop the grade twice, but then we got really other problems. So 4 classes is just over 10% of the number of classes. Also, if you arrive late or leave early twice, that is equivalent to 1 missing class. All the assignments I've listed above must be turned in on time. When extenuating circumstances happen, let me know. By the way, I also forgot to mention, this is what I expect of you as teachers. And this year, I think all of you are in your clinical experience right now. When you're not going to be somewhere and you know in advance, let people know in advance. So I expect you to tell me if you know that you have got a conflict or can't attend a class for one reason or another. Let me know. Shoot me an email. If it was unexpected, let me know as soon after that, in essence, you're sorry you missed class and are taking care of business. Just that brief note is, shows your commitment, I think, to the work, to the class. This class, like all of ours at Kennesaw, as a 3 credit hour class, that means you should expect 4 to 6, 5 to 6 hours of homework every week. So between each one of our classes, put into your calendar 2 to 3 hours of homework. Plan for 2 to 3 hours of good effort on making sense of the mathematics of our class. You know me, I assign a lot of work. So if what I'm assigning is taking you more than those 2 to 3 hours, I ask you to begin documenting that and share that with me, because I truthfully do not want you to spend more than the 3 hours allotted. And if I'm misestimating the amount of time, I appreciate the documented effort to show me. These are across, so course withdrawal issues are across all your courses, but it's worth me just re-emphasizing that add drop ends on Friday of this week. And you can withdraw a course without academic penalty by October 7th. And just note that just stopping showing up to class does not mean you've withdrawn. You must withdraw on your own. So please take care of that. So now I'm starting to skim through some things that are pretty common to all your classes. I encourage you to read through these, or even just skim if you know you've read them before but want to check in. I think, sorry, I'm editing my own syllabus as I'm talking to you. That's probably not a good plan. Wow. Okay, I'm going to try to remember to do that after. The last thing I want to talk to you about is this course outline. So the first and foremost thing I want to say here is this is a draft. This is where my plans are. This helps you identify the mathematical topics we'll be studying and gives you a sense of the when homework assignments will be due. However, all these due dates and topics and all that, D2L is the place that has final say. So please consider this chart as a draft, but and all these dates are programmed into D2L right now, but I might change them in D2L when things shift or things need. So again, one more time, here's a draft, but look at D2L for final due dates. You notice this Math Girls paper. I'm going to ask teams, pairs of people to lead conversations on each of these days. That pair will write a brief paper on what stood out to them in a portion of the reading. And that's why that will look like that. So early on, we'll get everyone signed up for pairs and these due dates. That's how that looks. So that's really all I have to say about the syllabus. Shoot me an email if you have any questions. Thank you.